It's always a pleasure to talk with a legend. Sir, you have great events coming.
Yes, and we're looking forward to March and April. March 10th we'll be in StubHub. Óscar Valdéz defends his title against Scott Quigg, a very dangerous competitive fight. I'm glad to see Andy Ruiz here. He'll be back in action, returning, and he'll be on the card. Andy Vance and De Leon is a tremendous fight. So people will get to see great fights on March 10th. And then a week later, March 17th in New York, Madison Square Garden, Jose Ramirez, the young man from Central Valley, California, gets his opportunity to fight for a world title against Amir Imam, Don King's fighter. Should be a tremendous fight. Mick Conlon will be on the card, celebrating St. Patrick's Day. We're practically sold out in New York. I mean, big reaction to that card. So I'm looking forward to that. In April, we have our big card at the Mandalay Bay with Terrence Crawford against Jeff Horn. Jesse Magdalena goes up against Dagbo, the African boy who fights out of New Zealand. Terrific fighter. He's the regular or interim champion, and Jesse will be fighting against him. I just think that card will be tremendous. We have Jerwin and Casas on the card.
Right, pretty boy.
Yeah, and also a kid that we're very high on in a very tough fight opening the card. You'll hear a lot about him this year, Alex Saucedo.
Cholo.
Cholo, who's now up in Big Bear training with Abel Sanchez.
Yeah. Sir, let me ask you this. In Mexico, we think that Óscar Valdéz is the new Julio Cesar Chavez, is the new Terrible Morales, and is the new Barrera. What is the opinion of a legend about Óscar Valdéz?
Well, the fighters that you mentioned fought tremendous fights against everybody and earned their honors in the ring. Óscar Valdéz has been very good, and potentially he could join that group, but he's got to prove himself in the ring, and this fight against Scott Quigg is a real test for him.
Yeah, of course, I agree with you. But I mean, the question is like in this way, he got the guts, right? I mean, he have all the elements to be a great star. I mean, it is, but he can grow up.
Absolutely, and he's unlike the other three fighters. He is a two-time Mexican Olympian.
Yep.
And it's a great story because he was born in Mexico, lives in Mexico, but he lived for a good number of years in the border town of Tucson, Arizona. So he is part of both cultures.
Yep. Sir, let me ask you this. We talk about the king of the Olympics. I mean, you have a good eye choosing the best Olympics to take it then to a world champions, right?
Hopefully, you can't always be right. There are misses, but yeah, we have developed a lot of Olympians into first-class world champions. None better than High Tech, who will be fighting in May, Vasyl Lomachenko, who, by the way, is flying in a couple of days to LA, and he'll be attending Oscar's fight on March 10th at StubHub.
Talking about Lomachenko, all the boxing fans, all the boxing people, all the boxing media, and I believe you too, we are asking for the fight Lomachenko-Linares. How can you tell about it?
Well, there was a lot of pessimism because of the objection when we made the deal with Linares as far as the date. But now I must credit the people at ESPN
Okay.
and also the people at HBO, Peter Nelson, and Eric Gomez at Golden Boy. Everybody has worked together for a solution, and I think we're just about there, and hopefully we'll be able to announce that fight in the next week or so. It's a great, great fight, and we're going to do it in the big Madison Square Garden, the big building which seats over 20,000 people, and I hope that we'll be able to fill it up. We're talking to the new WBO champion Ray Beltran to fight on that card to make his first title defense. So it could be a spectacular night.
Finally, sir, let's talk about Puerto Rico. Let's talk about Verdejo. Let's talk about Pitufo Diaz, please.
Well, I'm always been partial to Puerto Rico and Puerto Rican fighters. Verdejo, because of the accident, is behind where Óscar Valdéz is, where Jose Ramirez, who fights for a world title, is. They were the three that we signed together. Verdejo is a little behind now because of the accident, but we hope he'll be on the card March 17th. We'll see. They say he's training very well, and who knows, if he looks good and he's willing and Ray is willing, maybe that's the co-feature on the card on May 12th, Ray Beltran against Felix Verdejo. That'd be some tremendous, tremendous fight. As far as Diaz is concerned, he has made tremendous strides. He's living and training in New Jersey now. He'll be on that card March 17th, and we hope to have him contending for a world title within the next 6 months. If, as we said, our great poster boy, high-tech Lomachenko, becomes the 135-pound champion, that opens up a spot at 130 pounds, and hopefully we'll have Christopher Diaz fighting for that title.
With all your experience, to close this great time with you, could you tell with your all experience that we are in the new golden era of boxing?
There is no question that boxing is embarking on a golden era. There is no question about that. We all have to work together, as you see what's happening on May 12th. Everybody got to work together for the good of the sport and for the good of themselves, because if we work together, it's a win-win for everybody, whether it's Golden Boy, HBO, ESPN, Showtime. Everybody got to work to build the sport, because what's happening now with direct-to-consumer, which Disney is going to be in the forefront with ESPN Plus, that's going to bring in fans like you've never seen before. And so I think, we're embarking on an era where boxing will again take its place as one of the most popular and most followed sports, not only in this country, but around the world.
Mr. Bob Arum, always a pleasure. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you for
I
having
can
me.
name you too, Mr. Boxing. Thank you very much. Always a pleasure.